Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 3 of the TheMKninja podcast. I have with me the last 3 idiots from last time. My friends. My friend Nicholas, YouTube friend, Venomfist. Yes, Shadow Mats, the man of Back for the Dead again, and Nitro Silver Nigel.
What's up, brothers?
And today, thanks to the power of $100, I have source filmmaker animator Daito Madashi. I didn't pay him actually, but say hello.
Money.
Wait. I thought you were going to pay me in terms of like yandere girls nudes.
Oh, you want yonder nudes? Okay.
I'm out.
I don't know how many of those I have. Oh shit, no.
Wait, you're paying me?
But seriously, yeah, it's good to be on this podcast. Glad to be here.
I'll put a link to his channel in the description if you don't know, but he does Souls Filmmaker animations about video games and anime, and he does some really great stuff, some stuff I have very much enjoyed. In fact, I think, Nick, didn't we make the depressed Gohan joke on one of the Poco MMO videos?
I'm trying to think.
Because I swear we talked about that in one of them.
I do remember talking about it.
Yeah, anyway.
He does good animation.
Yes, he does very good stuff, and you need to go check him out because... Actually, I think the reason I checked you out is because of the Kamina glasses in the icon.
Yep.
And it's currently... Yep. It's currently the face-off of the Shades.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. But yeah, Gurren Lagann is one of my favorite animes of all time.
Oh, yeah, amen to that.
Yep. Like, Dragon Ball Z got me into anime, but Gurren Lagann was a show that fermented my interest in it.
Oh yeah, that's what got me into it too. Anyway, we have a few questions. Last time I did 4, but that took me a while to edit, and since I'm very lazy, I've dumbed it down to 3. I feel like that's a manageable amount of questions. We still have our discussion, and we have the anime battle, which is Stein from Soul Eater versus Aizawa from My Hero Academia, the battle of the odd teachers. Because that's fun. I like to have...
That'll be interesting.
I like to have, like, connections between the two characters, not just two random faces slapping each other. And the first question, I wanted to go something a little more topical because, like, we've been seeing more and more characters get introduced for Jump Force, which is kind of like the next in line for the Shonen Jump fighting series, if anyone's played that. I haven't... Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I played J-Star Victory years ago, so I'm familiar with this type of franchise.
I haven't actually played it. Is it good? Like, I don't really know much about it.
I'm gonna be honest, it was pretty mediocre in my opinion.
Glowing reviews.
Yeah. Like, I want... Oh, go ahead, I'm sorry.
There you go.
Like, believe it or not, I wanted to review on my channel, but doing reviews on my channel has been so taxing lately with my schedule and planning out all the bigger projects. I didn't even get the chance to like review it yet.
Yeah, I know the feeling of being busy.
Don't we all?
But hopefully Jump Force is good. And are you guys excited for Jump Force? If so, why? If not, why not?
Ooh, can I go first in this one?
No. Yes, you can go first.
Yeah.
And you're allowed to interject if his opinion is bad. I mean, interject.
Okay.
Just here in the background. You suck.
That would be you doing that.
Okay, here's my answer. I love the idea of another 3D fighting game from Shonen Jump, but I haven't got the last one. Like Dai said, mostly because most YouTubers are busy. But for my case, I actually bought the copy, but I still haven't played it yet. I may actually get this one as well. I think I may get a pre-order because, you know, Shonen Jump games do have some good pre-order games, especially when I play Burning Blood for One Piece. I got 3 costumes for Luffy. But in my hype for the game, yes. Would I get it? Probably so. But I cannot give you a definitive answer of yes.
I've been really hyped about One's Justice from My Hero Academia because I have been so into the show lately, and I need to do a review on that. But I've never played the J-Stars, and I would like to see what they do with some of the new characters they've added since then. And hopefully they have some of the obscure characters they had in J-Stars as well, because there are some that like no one's ever heard of, and I feel like that's always cool to see. So I'd say I'm mildly excited. Not like super, but you know, enough to be interested.
I'm going to be like, I'm just going to say out loud, I'm nervous about this game because, like I said earlier, I played J-Star Victory. Like I played it. It wasn't really my cup of tea. I'll explain my problems with J-Star Victory and then talk about Jump Force. In J-Star Victory, like when you play a fighting game, when you get hit really hard, you're able to recover from it. That's like a fighting game mechanic. Hell, that's like an character action mechanic. Like you see that in Metal Gear Revengeance, you'll see that in Devil May Cry 4, hopefully in Devil May Cry 5. Like you're able to recover immediately. Combat feels fluid. It feels exciting. In J-Star Victory, when you get hit hard, you have this really long recovery animation. You can't really just edge out. You have to wait until you recover. It slows the battle down. Not to mention, in the story mode, it felt very cheapish, in my opinion. It was just cutouts, and it was just like people talking. I mean, they were going for a visual novel vibe, but the way they did it just felt really cheap. That was my issues with J-Star Victory. And when I saw the trailer for Jump Force, I was concerned that a lot of the mistakes in J-Star Victory will happen in Jump Force. I mean, to be fair, they did say that it's a work in progress, so a lot of the issues might be fixed next year. But one of the things I saw in the trailer was the fact that I believe it was Zora versus Sasuke. Like, Zora hit Sasuke hard, but instead of having like a fluid animation, it just felt very stiff. The hits he was taking felt very stiff in my opinion. Not to mention the complaint I have about the recovery mechanic. It seems like it's going to be in J-Star Victory. Overall, the graphics look really great. The hair looks a little bit too shiny for my liking, but I'm not too sure if I'm looking forward to the game. Will I stream it? Maybe, most likely, but I have very low expectations for this game.
That's fair. It's good to be critical about things, or cautious. The recovery mechanic sounds important because I like it when you can quickly jump back up and then attack back.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember doing that in Burning Blood. There was like only one fight that I had the most trouble with. That was like Buggy versus, not Buggy, it was someone else. I forgot the guy's names. But anyway, yeah, I do understand how sometimes getting up could be the hardest part of the game. Because, if you get hit down really hard, it's kind of hard to get back up. I guess you agree with that.
It can also break the flow of combat if you don't really implement it correctly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Makes you slow down when you're in a high-speed fight.
Exactly.
Matt, Venom, either one.
I'm sorry. I just want to say one more thing about Jump Force.
Sure, go ahead.
One thing I am really curious about the game is Light in the trailer. Like Light, if you watch the Death Note anime, if you read the manga, Light is not really a fighter. He's like a very calculating person. And they just showed him on the top of the rooftop, so I think a lot of people are speculating that he's going to be the main bad guy for Jump Force, which I can see. Like, it'll be interesting how they're going to implement him in, like, the story without him actually fighting, but that's one thing of Jump Force I'm kind of curious in seeing.
That did kind of concern me. It's either going to be he's going to be a part of the story, or he's going to go all Pokemon trainer and make Ryuk fight, which might ruin it for me personally, because that's
what I was gonna say about the whole Pokemon trainer.
The appeal to Death Note is the fact that like it's much more of a calculated series rather than like a loud action series, so it's kind of odd. But who knows? We won't know until we get it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm like excited. I feel like Jump Force, but
Nick, stop it.
Alright, sorry.
You're interrupting the poor man.
I'm kind of excited. And like if they probably put in Saitama, but I doubt it.
Is Saitama part of Shonen Jump? I don't think he is.
No, he is.
He is? Okay.
He is part of Shonen.
It would be a bit weird for him not to be in it.
That's fair. It's like not putting Goku or currently Deku or anyone like that, like the big names in Shonen Jump right now. I think he's done. He's going back to being dead.
Yep.
All right, Daniel
Yeah, so
Radcliffe.
All right, Captain Beautiful here. Personally, something more minor visually that would bug me is if everyone looks alright. For just a comparison to Marvel vs. Capcom, a lot of it looks really ugly, gonna be honest, and the animations can be quite jarring for some over-exaggeration. But relatively, it looks nice. This is coming from someone who hasn't played a Jump Force game. Okay? So it looks appealing enough to get in. Though, from Daito's, from someone with experience, as Daito said, I would take a step back from it and let it see how it starts off. Because normally it will look appealing or it would look great, and then it would end up being quite bad. So
That has happened.
as with any game, it's always best to just take a step back and give it a little bit of room to breathe on the open for getting it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes trailers can lie to us.
Obviously.
Mega Man. I mean.
Mighty Number 9, Last
Yeah.
Guardian, Duke Nukem Forever.
Was Last Guardian bad? Like,
I actually ironically like Duke Nukem Forever. Okay. Ironically.
Well, I heard Last Guardian wasn't that great.
I heard it was alright.
I really like seeing 3D fighters come into the fray. And
Oh yeah.
It's a more deviation to the 2D fighter anime game that is probably like the new FPS. It's basically an anime game version of the FPS. Kind of like in my opinion, it's outstayed its welcome, and there should be more room for experimentation.
Yeah, because to be fair, like pretty much every form of media follows like trends. Like for now, like in movies, we're having a lot of superhero movies. In video games, I have a lot of FPS, and in anime, I think for a while we were having a lot of slice of life. So, we'll see what the next trend is, and just hope it's not shit. But yeah, the next one is kind of an interesting question, because this could be spun in different ways, but everyone is always wondering if anime is mainstream per se. But one thing people don't usually discuss is if that's a good thing or a bad thing, or if it should be or shouldn't be, because there are pros and cons of something being mainstream. To explain, because I saw a video on this about anime being mainstream by Giguk. In his video, Anime Has Changed, which is a great video. He does a lot of great stuff. And he was saying how it started off, it was such like a small community, and like if there was another anime fan, you would find them, and it would be rare to find them have like something that you like. But now it's become such a huge thing, it's kind of lost that sense of specialty to it. Like, if you say like, oh, you're an anime fan, like, oh, I breathe too, It's kind of like that. So I don't think, but I don't think anime is mainstream yet. It's getting there. It's very close, but not yet. And there's pros and cons to it. Like the pro is like it's getting a lot more attention to this form of animation as well as storytelling that we don't usually see. Because here, like, different countries, different ways of storytelling, and it's nice to get that kind of variety. But we have yet to see if it'll necessarily be a beneficial thing.
anime is becoming more positively renowned right now. Like I am seeing like an increase in like fans like saying people liking anime. That's for sure. But I don't think it's still mainstream. If you're like a content creator doing anime content, then you'll see like weeaboo, cringe. like you're just seeing it's still kind of frowned upon, but not like a decade ago. But
no.
I'm somewhat concerned because the one thing I realize about like when stuff get popular, you start seeing like this toxic mentality, even though it still exists today, especially in anime. But you start seeing, but people in particular fandoms start becoming really, 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 really toxic. And the bigger you get, the more toxic your fan base gets. Like, for example, look at Ruby, Rick and Morty especially.
Undertale.
And Undertale is Undertale is not really that popular anymore, if I remember correctly.
It went through its
during,
phase.
during its heyday.
Yeah, during its heyday, I'm pretty sure it was really popular. But anyway, my concern is if when anime starts becoming more and more mainstream, you start seeing the toxicity that you see in anime fandom spikes, like really, really bad. Like it just gets really out of control. That's my concern about if anime becomes mainstream.
Yeah.
Yes, Matt? Would you like to share with the table?
Actually, I don't know if it should become like mainstream. Not very much like a mainstream thing because it kind of seemed like a thing in sidelines or something to enjoy, but so I don't really know which should be or not, but
That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, because I just want to add something to something Dido mentioned, is the toxicity to it. I feel like some of that does come from the whole, like, hating mainstream stuff, because, like, you'll notice when like a certain anime becomes popular, people who have like a favorite anime that's similar, like, oh, why is this one popular and not mine? And you get that crap, and it just fighting between communities. And I feel like that could increase too, and that does scare me.
Yeah, it's like if anime becomes more and more mainstream, you will see more the toxicity that you see in the anime fandom will grow more. That's my concern about it.
It is quite concerning. All right, Nigel, you're so excited.
Can I add something to it as well?
Sure.
Sure, you can.
Like my friend Ramen King, he's streams a lot. In fact, if you guys want, I'll plug his like Twitch channel in the video in like the description of this video. Hopefully.
Sure.
Just flash it on screen.
Yep. So anyway, he mentioned that a lot of Japanese developers are looking into no longer doing betas because Western artisans are becoming really, really petty about betas. Like, for example, I'm trying to remember, I think it was the Blaze Blue thing. People threw a shit fit about the whole DLC thing. Even though, according to my source, there were some other reasons behind it, which I can't really go into because I don't want to get him in trouble. Anyway, he mentioned a lot of Japanese developers are looking into no longer doing betas because the fandom is becoming really toxic when it comes to stuff like that. So it's already somewhat happening. Well, it's kind of a stretch when it comes to like anime fighters and anime, but still, that's just one example of how toxicity can like cause a lot of harm.
And there's been a lot of stories lately of fandoms kind of ruining big projects.
Yep.
Yep.
And it just sucks.
Have you actually? There's a series of called Phantom Files where this guy actually goes through fandom, and you can see the negative connotations to the medium they enjoy.
I saw the one for Eddsworld, and that was just like at least a little bit of faith in humanity died right there, because that was just sickening what they did with these people.
Yeah, but it's on my list.
You mind mentioning what happened?
Well, if you don't follow were any of you around like when Newgrounds was the big thing and like animation was huge back then?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I remember the series Eddsworld. One of the characters, Tord, ended up leaving because I think it was either before or after, but the fandom followed him and went to his house and like like did crazy stuff, and he was like, I can't do it, and he left. He had to leave all social media, and then when he posted one thing about Ed's passing, the trolls came flying, and he had to delete his channel all over again because he made a video respecting his friend who had died. Like, it's stuff like that that really irritates me. Like, have some respect. This is not fandom. This is cancer.
It's it doesn't even become a fandom anymore. It becomes like a cult at that point.
My dog's a big fan of you, Dido. He won't stop.
Thanks. What breed is your dog?
Oh, he's a pit
Nobody
bull.
has.
He is. Yeah, he's a little baby. Hello. He's a little baby.
Oh, that's
He's not.
nice.
He's not a baby. He just acts like a baby.
No, that's understandable, dude. I have like pit bulls have like a negative reputation these days, but
Oh,
that's
God, yes.
because usually the owners don't really know how to raise dogs.
Yes.
So,
Remember, love dogs. People suck.
Exactly.
They'll love you back.
Yeah.
Love dogs, but fuck cats.
I don't know. I don't know. I also like cats. Like
I'm allergic to cats, but you know.
I just wanted to make the joke.
All right.
All right.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
All right, Nigel, your turn. Finally, he gets to step up to the plate.
Yes, the dubstep lord is back.
Please no.
Okay, sorry about that. Well, from experience, I can't really say anime is mainstream for all the people I know. But me and my family, only 3 people actually watch anime besides me. There's my older brother and my younger sister. After that, just me and no one else watches it but that. But I think anime is halfway there. Like, it's almost at the next point where some good anime might say, like, oh, let's everyone watch this. I mean, it came close to Attack on Titan, when a lot of new anime fans came into the foreplay to watch that. But I feel the anime is going to be like the next genre of animation, like how cartoons for adults came to be. Because like when The Simpsons first came out, no one was watching it until I forgot what made people start watching it, and that what made adult animation a new thing that people started watching. And then Family Guy came into the play and made it something somewhat terrible because what they're doing now is the early seasons. But I'd say honestly, I feel anime is not mainstream yet. It's getting there, but it's not to the point where people are changing their lifestyles for it. But on a flip note, people who do change their lifestyle for it could be considered toxic because they don't do the research right. Like a friend of mine, I forgot his name. Well, I know his name. His name is Joshua, but he's a big anime fan, bigger than me. But people consider him a weeaboo because he doesn't take the time to actually understand the Japanese culture. I try to get him to watch video. Sorry,
No worries, dude.
But I try to make him watch a Gaijin Goomba video, just understand the culture behind Japan and their anime. Because he didn't understand this newer anime about where they made a joke about, shoot, I forgot his name too. Who's that everyone most hated YouTuber? They made an anime episode about him dying and turning into a tree.
There's a lot of those. Is it? Dang, what's his name?
Yeah.
Yeah, they made an episode of this show.
Logan Paul?
The tree and kill him. The tree killed him. By him turning
Oh
into
yeah, I
a tree.
remember that. That was part of I forgot what the name of the anime was. Like a remake of an old one.
It's on oh shoot, I keep getting those two guys confused. It's on Gaijin Goomba's channel.
I know what you're talking about. I've seen the video as well.
Yeah, I'm talking about if you know that anime said like, oh, since you don't want to take a time to learn of our culture, F you and turn into a tree. Because I do know about this one rule in Japan: you gotta ask permission before you take a picture of anyone. While in America, it's sort of like take a picture as much as you want, as long as you just don't be a jerk about it.
They're a very, very formal country. That's the thing.
It's actually I think it's the anime in general who kind of introduce a lot of cultural things about Japan to a broader audience, and that's what Gaijin tries to explain. Because I think there was a recent one about the workforce, which was about the couple episodes from, and about the show Gretzko.
Yes, you know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That's
I love
that's
Gretzko.
really good. That's a really good anime.
Top tier.
It's stuff like that that's really nice to see. And I feel like anime does kind of follow somewhat of what's mainstream, like the superhero craze with My Hero and One Punch Man.
Hmm.
So it's getting there, I think.
Fun
But
fact,
you know,
did you know the same people who made Hello Kitty also made Aragest?
yep.
Okay.
It's what they're not really an animation company. They're more of a like a icon. Like they make pop culture icons. I forgot what they're called.
Made that anime.
I forgot what they're called though. It's like an S Sario. I can't remember. I can't remember for the life of me. But I know what you mean. And I think that fact alone is hilarious. Anyway, speaking of metal, Nick.
Oh,
Yes.
I could talk about that all day, but
Wait till we start the metal podcast.
yay!
Oh, I would do that. Don't get me wrong, but you know.
Yeah. Anyway, do I think anime is mainstream yet? I was originally going to say yes, but after hearing this, I would say very close. Because if you think about it, it is actually very close to being mainstream. It's just towards a more specific age area, where it's become mainstream. And you would see previous generations as they talk about ones like Sailor Moon and Dragon Ball, and you can include them into the mainstream. And I believe it should actually get it's just another bit of it's another medium, entertainment medium, like movies, video games, so on and so forth. And personally, I love animation in general, not just anime. And there's just so much you can do that I remember back when Harry Partridge used to make animations. The big thing about why I was so for animation is that you could make absolutely anything you want with it. And talking about if it's a good thing or a bad thing, honestly, yeah, there are pros and cons to both of it, and toxicity is mainly one thing.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing about toxicity is that it always comes in a wave, and and after that, to stir it back up, it's got to be reacted. So, like Ed's World, Undertale, I remember getting really toxic with the obsession about it, but that later died off. Both those died off, and then everything starts leveling out. I remember because there was a bit. I remember someone brought up Ruby.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, and I know what you're talking about. It's like the shipping, and you can kind of see the shipping problem with My Hero to an extent.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's
Wait, there was a shipping thing with that too?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of
yeah,
ships in My Hero.
yeah.
Some of them I get, some of them I really don't like. There's ships of like Todoroki and Momo, which I get, but then there's people saying like Deku and pretty much every guy, and I'm like, okay, I get that it's gay pride and all that, but I don't really think that's how that goes.
I don't.
so
Yeah, that it's pretty ridiculous with the My Hero thing.
You guys don't understand shipping. I'm a brony. We have to do a shipping every day.
That's true. You do have a lot of shipping with that.
but I think the general consensus, if it became more mainstream, then people would understand. That's just the section of it. It's not gonna paint the broad stroke over everyone. And if so, it would either be sectioned off, or it would later just die off.
That's true, because I think like in many ways the gaming wave can be attributed similar to the anime wave, because there's a lot of cancerous gamers out there who like the 420 Mountain Dew, all that stuff, but that's not all of us.
Console wars.
Small.
Oh, that shit too, yeah.
Yeah, I remember that that was like all the rage, but back in like the early 2000s.
Still a little is, but not nearly as much.
Yeah, now you just gotta give it time, and it'll eventually just die off.
That's a
Let's
fair
not
point.
forget the most hated discussion of all gaming. Who won E3? Seriously, no one cared.
Just like the games, and paid the shit ton of money to go there in the first place.
Yes.
Anyway, now is a bit of an interesting topic because going back to toxicity, there might be some of this, and I'm gonna do my best to make sure no one gets attacked or anything. Put like a warning and say opinions are things. But what is your most controversial opinion related to anime?
Hmm.
Anyone go first? I want to save mine for last because it might get me a little bit of hate, but I've accepted the fact that that's going to happen.
As such, I've been not gonna lie. Since you gave me this question, I've been struggling with an answer. To be honest, like I've been
Same
trying.
here.
If you don't have one, then that's fine because not everyone has one. You don't have to be like, oh, I disagree so much with this because sometimes you go more towards the fold of what people think, and that's totally fine. But if you don't have an answer, that's cool.
Here's the thing. I thought the most controversial opinion I had was that I honestly thought Lucky Star sucked. It was probably the most overhyped anime of all time. But then I found out that a lot of people feel the same way. I'm like, really? A lot of people gave people shit in like the late 2000s when they said that. But that was what I thought was the most controversial opinion I had. But apparently times have changed.
Well, I guess I'll go next, but so I guess the most controversial opinion that I have is I really I don't like the anime called, I think, Hazumi Suzumiya it was called.
Oh, Harui's. Oh, ooh.
Actually, I agree with you. Hazumi Suzumiya. I don't get why people love her. Like a lot of people love Hazumi Suzumiya.
Yeah.
Ali. Even though, to be honest, she's a bitch. She is a bitch. Like, I'm just remembering the one episode where she actually took off the clothes of one of the members.
Oh.
In order to like in order to use a club room or something like that, and blackmail the guy.
Oof.
And she's like the god of the world, and if you don't really obey her, she'll like destroy it. And I'm like, wait, how come a lot of people love this chick? She's like a bitch. She's a bitch.
Funny thing is, I actually have never seen either Lucky Star or Harui, even though I have friends who have told me to go see both of them. It's just, I've never really had the drive to go out and see them, because they look like things I wouldn't be super into. And apparently, from what you guys are saying, I'm not missing much.
Yeah, not really missing out.
Not really, because I've seen the first 5 episodes. That's it. I not.
Alright, just take that off the list. Cool. Alright, so I guess that's a shared opinion. Do you have a idea, Nigel? If not, then that's fine.
I have one idea. It was something I think is almost any young anime nerd can understand. But here's my most controversial anime opinion. You cannot learn Japanese by watching sub-anime all the time. Seriously. You have to go to college or go to high school to learn Japanese. You just can't watch it from watching sub-anime. Because, like, even if you watch official subs or a fan subbing, there always could be something wrong with the subbing. So, I mean, you have to learn, you have to really be put up with yourself to learn a language yourself if you're going to learn Japanese. That's the only thing I could think of. It was just popping in my mind. I was like, what can I really say to this? And I was like, well, when I was younger, I thought I could do this, but now I'm like, older, I'm like, yeah, if I want to learn Japanese, I'm really going to sit down and learn this thing the old-fashioned way.
Back then, a young, unexperienced Nigel, and now the older, experienced Nigel slaps the back of the head of the young one and says,
No,
bitch, shut up.
That was in the head.
Anyway, Nick, I can't wait to hear what Daniel Radcliffe has to say.
Well, since I would still consider myself fairly noobish to the animes, I think the most controversial I'd probably say is something along the lines of either I found at least the beginning part of Hellsing, not Hellsing Ultimate, but Hellsing boring, or One Piece being really overrated.
I guess, Nigel, you haven't seen my overrated anime video because I did put One Piece at the top. To be fair, that was mostly a comparison of what my opinion was versus the general consensus.
Okay. No.
Because I think One Piece is okay, but everyone's all like, "Oh my god, it's so good," and I was like, comparatively, it's kind of at the top here. But if that's it, mine is quite a doozy. So I have gone on and said that I am a dub watcher. I love dubs. I have a Funimation account. I support them. I buy anime off their website and other such to support the business. And the reason is, one, I do like dubbing and I want to watch anime in English. But the second reason is, and this is not trying to put down anyone at all, but I am not really into Japanese voice acting. It's
Really?
just, yeah, because I don't know. I'm not saying I'm not saying they're untalented. I'm not saying that they do nothing right. I'm not saying like they're bad. It's just personally, like the speed of the speech, the inflections, the voice actors they choose don't always fit to me personally. And I think these people have a lot of talent. It's just I usually don't get like there are very few examples where I got invested. One is Panty and Stocking because I think that is one of the best subs out there. It is hilarious in both languages. I love it. And then another one is I actually do kind of dig the My Hero Academia sub because I feel like the sub and dub are kind of close in spirit of what the characters sound like. But other than that, I usually, if I'm gonna watch a subbed anime, and it, again, not trying to disrespect anyone, it's just I'll watch it on mute. But they do have a lot of great talent, and of course, it's from Japan, so of course it's the original version of it. But it's just not my cup of tea.
I can agree with you on that.
Yeah, I can
Same here,
relate
dude.
to your point.
Yay, I'm not alone.
Wait, what? You don't like stupid anime? Fuck you! Leave this podcast. But no, seriously, that's perfectly fine. In fact, there are some anime in which I think sounds better as English dub. Panty and Stocking is one good example. Cowboy Bebop is another good example. But yeah, it just kind of sad that you just hear this whole dub versus sub argument these days as well.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we covered that in the previous
Yeah, but
episode.
you can go on it for if you want to, like, because we did do a question on this last time. But if you want your 10 cents on it, you can go ahead.
Yeah, it's just really, I'm just saying, like, it's really sad because, like, I remember when Christopher Ayers, the voice actor for Frieza in the Kai dub, was diagnosed with cancer. You just see the Facebook thing saying, his Facebook page being flooded with trolls saying, haha, yeah, he sucks at Frieza, he sucks, or something like that, or like,
Really?
I'm happy that he died. Yeah.
Jesus Christ, that's fucked up. No, he's alive.
He's alive, but he was diagnosed with cancer.
Oh, thank goodness.
No, he's done stuff recently.
He did good work with Frieza with that one. I like that dub.
I didn't know that though. That's fucked up. I guess it goes back to that toxicity in the fandom thing. But yeah, that's messed up. Sorry, I don't mean to keep interrupting you.
No, it's fine. It's just like, it's really fucking sad. It's really fucking sad that people are that petty that they want that a man is diagnosed with cancer, and then you're parading on the fact that he has cancer. It's fucking pathetic.
Wait, didn't they do the same thing with Stefan from Lazy Town?
I think that was actually. I think that was actually come out in defense of him because he was like the face of like a meme community, and everyone was like coming out for him, hoping he.
Reverse, sorry.
Yeah, it's the reverse of it. I mean, I'm pretty sure there are probably still a lot of shit people out there who were giving him a shit, but there was like a heavy minority from everything I've seen, which I guess you can take that as that builds faith in humanity thing, because like people hoping he makes it out. So, I do too, of course. I'm not really big of a meme guy, but
I know a guy who I consider the meme lord.
I mean,
But he's from different websites, so I
Okay.
can't mention him here.
yeah, but I guess tying a lot of the things that the questions I've had is a discussion on live action anime adaptations because this is kind of a fun one because you can have like a lot of like we can go like the toxicity thing, we can go to the mainstream thing, we can say it's controversial, but just anyone seen a live action anime adaptation that they liked? Just curious.
I haven't seen one, period.
Fair.
Trying to remember if the last one I watched.
Because I know the Full Metal Alchemist one was really popular when it came out on Netflix, but I saw it and I thought it sucked. It was basically just a mishmash of like famous moments from the anime.
I think there's also a Mob Psycho 100.
Oh, I saw Mother's Basement video on that one. I think it was Mother's Basement. He said that one was absolute garbage.
I haven't watched it, but yeah, I did see Mother's Basement video on it.
I think the only one I've heard some good things about is the Erased one. Because it changes, it goes to the original, or more to the original manga ending than the anime does. Which I've never read the manga before, but when I heard what the original ending was, I was like, actually, yeah, that ending does sound better. Even though I really like the Erased anime, that does sound better. But no, it goes into a lot of video game movies. Like, it's very hard to get the spirit of it right. They have similar track records.
Yeah, I have to say the same. For me, I say no one's always going to be terrible, though they could, especially the ones made for American movie companies. I mean, look at Death Note, Dragon Ball Evolution, and everyone's least favorite, Ghost in the Shell.
Oh yeah, I did watch the Death Note movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen bits of the Death Note movie. I did see the Ghost in the Shell one. The Ghost in the Shell was
Evolution.
Dragon Ball Evolution is cancerous.
Terrible.
Oh yeah.
So terrible.
I think one of the people who worked on it came out and said, "We're sorry to everyone in the Dragon Ball fandom."
Yeah.
Yeah.
That reminds me of a story. There's no like, but I'll say it afterwards.
Okay, but I'd say it's not just America, but like the Japanese ones suck too, because it's just hard to translate it into live action. Because what works in an anime doesn't always work in a live action movie.
Yeah, just like what they did for the Attack on Titan movies. I seen the first movie. I didn't get to see the second one, but I did see the live action. I mean, I saw the first movie and I was like, "Wow, these Titans! It looks way too realistic, and they're moving super slow."
Yeah,
It was like a slow-mo effect. And I heard that they filmed that scene like, I think like 120 frames per second just to get it to move right. It still looks so slow.
Shit.
they don't usually get the good enough budget to get a good CG effect, really.
Yeah.
Which could be tied down to, like, the thing about anime is the fact that, you know, it's kind of created this cost-cutting measure to be an artistic form, to where, like, you know, lip flaps and such. So it might come down to the business perspective tying into what a movie, even though it should have a lot more budget. But it doesn't.
But it's just so weird compared to that car commercial they had with. Everybody remember that car commercial that had Attack on Titans, the Titans actually in the commercial with them, and you're like, oh, this looks good. Like, I thought it was a movie trailer, only to be it's a car commercial. And yet when you see the movie, you're like, how did they miss so much points with the commercial? I mean, how did they miss so many points with the movie? Yet the commercial was better.
Magic of cinema.
But yeah, the last thing I had to say was about that was on the flip side, when they're made by their homeland, by Japan, the great God country of all anime creations, the movies are not that well as well either. So both countries, America and Japan, both have some bad leadways when it comes to making anime movies. America, they don't understand. Japan, they don't have the budget.
I heard, I did hear that the live action adaptation of the, what do you call it? The
Bleach?
Part 5.
Oh.
No, JoJo Part 4. I heard that adaptation was
live action?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. I just remember that. I haven't seen it yet. That's one of. I'm not a big JoJo fan. I know they're gonna get me kicked out of this podcast somehow, but I did see it. And I'm like, oh, that looks nice.
I have not seen it. I didn't hear much about it. It just kind of came and went for me. But one of my friends who's a huge JoJo fan, just kind of like randomly told me, don't see the movie, it sucks. Although he's also like really biased, so he might have like a high expectation of it. I don't know. I can't say how if it's good or not. I've only seen a few because they got super like the Fullmetal Alchemist one I saw, the Ghost in the Shell, Dragon Ball Evolution. Suffered through. I can't say I watched it. I just kind of sat there and threw up for about an hour. And I did see the Death Note one, and someone's gonna hate me for this. I really like the original Death Note. I thought this one tried a bit more than a lot of other adaptations do, because usually the live action one they're like, oh, let's just make every iconic scene in the anime and make it a movie. Ghost in the Shell did this. Fullmetal Alchemist did this, and I'm pretty sure JoJo kind of did this probably a little bit, because it seems like it did some of that. But the Death Note one didn't. It kind of tried to do its own thing, even though it didn't work too well. I can at least respect that it made an attempt to do something original.
No, it should have probably almost.
No. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's fine. Matt, did you have a point?
What do you think about the live actions? I don't know. I don't know much stuff is like I kind of don't know if it's gonna be good enough, but I think they should just much like source material and then I'm not trying to like deviate from the thing, but just I don't know think
Yeah.
but they do and at least I want to try to do something new with it thing. I guess that's known something or whatever, and it's still good.
Because that one did change it. One thing I don't like is the fact that like I don't want to see the same thing in an anime just in live action, because then it's like I've already seen this, but now it's in live action. So that's why I hate the whole.
The main problem is trying to take what's animated and trying to implement it into the real world, which like it doesn't make sense even in your head. I mean, it's not just an anime thing. You could probably think it's like cartoons you watched when you were a kid. I mean, just think of like Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy.
Yeah, that'd be weird to see that.
Yeah.
As hilarious as an idea that is, I gotta agree that does sound weird to think of in live action.
Yeah, it just kind of.
Yeah.
And it kind of seems sort of unnecessary as well.
One thing that's interesting is I don't feel like it's impossible to do, because we have had anime-inspired movies, especially here in the West, because we had, I think it was 2016, Studio Leica did Kubo and the Two Strings, which is heavily anime-inspired, and it is in my opinion, it might have been the best movie that year. It was fantastic. And then we've had like other stuff like Pacific Rim has a heavy mech influence, although I heard the sequel didn't appeal to many people. So it's kind of a.
The comic itself was kind of weird too.
But I think it's possible, but it's just hard.
The thing about that is, you said anime inspired, not a direct. Transformation of one thing to another.
Yeah, but like I just feel like
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
The thing to add on to the Kubo and the Two Strings, that's not really live action. That's more stop motion.
Yeah, that's true, but it's. I don't know. I'm trying to. I can hope.
Yeah, I just think it wouldn't make sense.
Yeah.
If I may add anything to the discussion, it's about Death Note, the terrible movie, but great anime. There was only one good thing I actually enjoyed from the movie, that the fact they actually acknowledge that they actually acknowledge the anime within the movie. I know it's in between that montage and talking about all the people in Japan dying, but they actually made a point where like they called him Kira because it was based on the manga. They didn't call him like some regular name. They said Kira based off the anime, and they actually explained why they went with Kira. They said not just for the Japanese roots because the Death Note was in Japan, but it made a technical sense that if Light is going to be killing a lot of people, he's going to have to fake where his address really is.
Shit, I had a point, but I forgot what it was. Damn it.
But anyway, this is.
I hate when that happens.
I want to put it, but I think there's just the specific stylizing of anime would be difficult to translate, as you could see in a lot of anime. There's a lot of exaggerated expressions, and that would and that fits in its environment. But if you try and make that live action, that comes off very awkward, and people and critics would say, "Oh, that's could be overacted."
Yeah, like the Battle of Alita movie coming out.
All right, with the eyes that are similar to the anime. I don't know. I'm a little hopeful for that one, a little bit, because Spielberg is. I believe he's the one directing, isn't he?
No, it's going to be James Cameron.
Oh,
James Cameron.
Dang it! Not as hopeful anymore.
No, like
I like James Cameron fine, but Spielberg is way more talented. Personally, not trying to insult any James Cameron fans.
with the Death Note movie, you could see in the trailer. Can't remember the creature's name, but that was.
Oh, that was
That
it.
was CGI. Yeah, that was like CGI. And
Yeah.
CGI is not always
Ryuk.
bad, but it looks off.
I actually did really like the voice. I can't remember who the actor was. He was.
Yeah, who did Spider-Man 1.
Yeah, I can't remember his freaking. He's a really talented actor. He's done a lot of great stuff. I can't remember his name.
You know, the funny thing, when I was reading the manga, I actually imagined his voice as Ryuk, and when he made the movie, I was like, wow, that actually followed my thoughts.
William Dafoe, that's it.
That was it. There we go. Defoe. He's really good. That was a really good fit for the voice for Ryuk, and he did a great job in it. I think.
Best job ever. Worst job to get paid for, but best acting for the movie.
It's always interesting to
Sounds
see
really-
these big name actors and such kind of work on anime projects or say that they like anime. Because like there's for like dubs in
So,
dang it, what is it? The Ghibli movies, a lot of big name voice actors and shit, which is cool. I think that's always really cool to see. But yeah, live action animated adaptations. Hopefully one day they'll be good. So far, not yet. We'll get there. Crossing fingers. Anyway, now it's time for everyone's favorite part, the anime battle. Yes, we get to see two people fight each other, kind of. Imagine it. It's imagination.
Talk about it.
Because you know that SpongeBob gif, imagination. Anyway, it's the
version where he says, "I found pills and ate them."
Of course you would. But it's Stein from Soul Eater versus Aizawa from My Hero Academia. The two kind of odd teachers who like just pretty tough. They're underrated in terms of like heroes and such. You don't usually hear people talking about them. But I was trying to think of like who I would think would win, and honestly it's comes down to a lot of variables. Like there's a lot of different things that can go into play that change the outcome. So if anyone has an idea, I'd love to hear it because it might sway what I think.
Okay.
Like I thought that maybe Aizawa would win. Ninja skills.
Ninja skills. I love it. I mean, there is kind of a ninja hero, like the paper guy. I can't remember his name. He's
it was like
Edge Point?
something.
something like that. But he was kind of like that. He was kind of a ninja-esque.
Well, people consider Aizawa more of a ninja than
That's fair.
Edge Point.
Wasn't he on the Witch Ninja from
Yeah, he was on the Witch Ninja.
Yeah, from Gaijin Good Look channel.
I've seen that episode.
What?
Gaijin does a series called Witch Ninja where he looks at anime's ninjas, well, anime and game ninjas, and compares them to actual ninjas.
Interesting. You would
Doing
think,
for Aizawa.
and you would think, considering my username, I would have seen that, but I have not.
I don't think he did Scorpion yet either.
What the hell? That's ridiculous.
He
Dunko Ninja.
It's like a Patreon series, so it's not
Okay.
like you have to wait for
Yeah,
the
you
episode
have to vote.
Okay, that's fair then.
Yeah,
Oh,
he did Scorpion yet. I think he did Sub-Zero, didn't he? No, he didn't do Sub-Zero either.
Hmm.
No, from Mortal Kombat.
why did you Sub-Zero and not Scorpion? What the hell is this crap?
No, he didn't do Sub-Zero yet.
He hasn't done.
Oh, he
all
hasn't.
comic,
Oh,
right?
dang. That'd be really cool though. I might have to support that then, because I'd love to see roots to real life for that.
Every day, just.
Anyway, we're getting
Okay.
widely off topic.
Okay, back.
Thank you, Matt, for giving us the visual of Aizawa as a ninja.
Yeah.
My thing is, it's really tough because you could say that Aizawa with his eraser quirk kind of wins easily, but then Stein is also like really calculating and
Well, that wouldn't
intelligent.
really work though.
Wait, can
I think it. Well, let's assume on the basis that it will work. That's what I think will happen.
What would it erase that?
It would erase probably his soul wavelength, like the ability to use it. I would say, like, 'cause, you know, he can manifest it and use it in a physical attack. That's what I would say. What it would stop, or he could even stop like the wavelength he has. Let's say he also has Death Scythe. Maka's father. Let's say it kind of neutralizes the wavelength they have, but he can still wield Death Scythe.
I'd say it should be. I think a fair fight would be just 1-on-1.
So no Death Scythe, no quirk, just their skills.
Yeah, but that would. I'll wait till it's my turn, but I'll go into why I'd say that.
Okay. It's just hard because there's a lot of variables that go into it. But it's an interesting fight. Nigel,
I'll go.
Daito,
Oh, boy.
someone.
The near unkillable machine happened to be a doctor versus the hero who don't care any less about his heroic fan.
Hmm.
I gotta go with Stein easily because pretty much Aizawa's abilities only work on quirks and powers that come from quirks. Stein is not a quirk user, nor even powers even close to resembles any quirks. And Stein is just strong for his strong sake. So Aizawa is at this point like world greatest ninja versus a guy who really can punch stone. So pretty much it's like apples and oranges here, but it's like I'm gonna just make it a bridge joke for anyone who watches it. He's like his trump card. It really jumped off the table and shot the other player.
Yeah.
So pretty much, I think Stein will win this fight very easily, simply because the guy is simply strong for this just the sake of being strong. He's like the Jiren of this universe.
And he's crazy. That's a plus.
Yeah, that too.
Not only that, to bounce off that, I'd also say Stein. But not only that, he's also got a versatility with weaponry.
I didn't forget about that.
I mean, you've faced up against three Meisters with their weapons, and all he used was a chair.
Dang.
them.
Oh,
Yeah, that was in the
Really?
beginning.
Yeah, because I forgot he did that.
Yeah, and not only that, it's just Aizawa focuses on finishing his opponents quickly, and when they can get out that he's normally caught off guard, like with, I think it was beginning or like middle of season 3, where they used twice his quirk to make a copy of Dobby, and that completely caught him off guard. So I think if Stein can use his scarf and his skills with multiple weaponry, he could easily put Aizawa off guard and then use that advantage or that opportunity to incapacitate him. So what else? And like you said earlier, I don't think his eraser quirk would work because you said it works with quirks, and
Yeah.
Stein has different abilities. And
All right, Daito, you can go. I'll go last.
I'm going with Stein as well because again, not only does his Akara's ability only works with all the quirk users, but Stein has superhero strength. Well, not superhero strength. Yeah, super strength. He also is like a genius, and he's far more adaptable than Aikara, from my experience, from what I'm seeing. So I'm going to go with Stein as well. Though to be honest, it was kind of tough going for this one because I haven't really been asked like questions like who do you think will win in the fight. Like, I haven't been asked that question.
It's always a fun topic to bring up, though. I mean, it depends who you bring it up to and if it's gonna be that like, oh, mine's gonna win because I like it better, like, you know, that kind of stuff. But I'm gonna go ahead and play the devil's advocate. I'm gonna say Aizawa, and for a few reasons. Even if I ignore Aizawa's quirk using it, because quirks are essentially just powers. Like, it's only like a special name. It's essentially a superpower, and I feel like it could work on the soul wavelength. That's like an inherent ability that he has, that Stein has. But even ignoring that, Stein is very smart, but he's also very unhinged. Like, even if like something happens, he can kind of like go off. And Aizawa is also very intelligent, and he's been able to go up against like tons and tons of villains at once when it's shown that he usually doesn't go for that fighting style. But one thing I'm thinking of is he's probably able to match Aizawa's or Stein's strength, because he's like thrown like full-grown men like through the air and like sent them flying and such. And he's also fought against other superpowered villains, and he has experience with these kind of characters. And it's a very close and very tough fight, but I feel like with the range added that Aizawa has, he can stay at a distance and slowly wear Stein down and possibly work to go up against his unhinged style. I feel like Aizawa takes it, but very barely, like very, very close. But that, apparently I am the only one who thinks that, so I'll just go ahead and sit here and be sad.
That's with you.
Yeah, that's fine. But if anyone has any ideas for anime versus, I'd love to hear them. We'll put I'll put the username of the person suggesting it right before it, right during when it's suggested. And
Unless it's really good, in which case he'll steal your idea.
yeah, as we said last time, we'll steal the idea, take all the credit, go to Hollywood, get rich and famous, and then die in Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the Cards Against Humanity card. Get rich and famous and have a family and die in Florida. Or something like that. I don't know.
Well, you're already in Florida, so...
That's true, I am. So I've already gotten one of those steps down. Except for the dying part. You know, that one... Thankfully, that one's not there yet. But yeah, versus battles are fun. I have a few prepared. One I need is someone needs to tell me a powerful enough sword user who can match like shonen characters. I have like 3 for like a 4-character face-off, which should be interesting for like a big fun one. But
Battle Royale like fight.
oh yeah, either that or it'll be a 2v2, one of those two.
I think like a duo fight would...
Because originally it was going to be,
Two or three.
I think it was going to be a 2v2 was originally my idea, but a battle royale could be fun. Hard to decide, but fun.
I think you should put Zoro for the next versus from just...
He was on the list. It was so far the 3 I have is Zoro, Urza, and Kenpachi.
You know who they should fight as well? They should fight Crow from Ruby. Because he technically uses a sword, even though it's
I mean, Crow is a fun one, but I feel like he's drastically underpowered compared to them. That's like, no, we can't kill a Crow. No, bad. Because I just think he's drastically under. Because like Zoro's like super powerful, Urza's super powerful, Kenpachi's super powerful. Crow's strong, but not that strong.
Okay, I'll help you out when I get back from my trip. It might be a fun guy. I think I know one perfect guy with a sword user. This is on his name yet.
I'll think of one, but I have a bunch. Anyone have any suggestions? Love to hear. Any question suggestions or discussion suggestions? Still love to hear it. Again, put the credit where credit is due. Unless it's really good, then we'll steal it. But I'd like to thank every single guest. You guys are awesome. Go check out Daito Modachi's channel. He does a lot of really fantastic stuff. Nitro Silver Nigel does some good stuff too. And I don't think Matt or I know Nick doesn't do anything. He just does stuff with me and Noah.
I'm just here.
But he's fun when he does stuff with me and Noah. So enjoy that. And then Matt is the Lord of the Undead.
Shut up.
But that Matt is the Lord of the Undead.
So
Right?
I want to buddy, but hang on, I'm getting my something ready.
Oh, he has a present. I can't wait. But yeah, thank you to every single guest. I love doing this because it's fun to just have like an outlet to discuss things. And
Oh, it's fun.
yeah, it's fun to see where your opinions lie with other people and such. And I much appreciate you, Daito, showing up. And it'd also be nice to see like other larger YouTubers showing up and, you know, like voicing their opinions, because it's nice to see, because it kind of humanizes people, because we usually see them as like these big celebrities, but you guys are just like us.
Yeah, it's no problem. I'm glad.
And I hope it did not weird you out. What the hell?
ago. Like sometimes a little bit helps.
Yeah. And Discord just stopped for a second there. And I was like, oh god. I got scared.
Not again.
No.
Having fun isn't hard if you got yourself some anime fame.
Yes. Maybe. Anyway, Matt, you said you had a present for us?
Oh.
You forgot, of course. God dang it.
Oh, well,
God damn it, Bobby.
God damn it, Bobby.
hang on. I want to.
Sorry.
It's like a Twitch.
Oh, you have a Twitch I can
Yeah,
plug. Alright.
not really yet. It's
Just tell me when it is ready and I'll put a link to it in the next podcast when it's up. Alright, that sound good?
I think I get the money.
Yeah, because the money is nice.
You know what,
'Cause-
money.
Yes, because advertising your stuff is nice. And I will also put...
That's what I want.
Speaking of advertisement, I guess I can put a link in the description to my book on Amazon, which helps me, help pay stuff. But yeah,
Oh yeah, speaking of that book, I will buy it the next month.
yeah, it just
You
as soon
just
as it
have all
restocks
this
on
flash
Amazon
on in
before
1
I'm dead.
Don't forget to have a flashing image of your book on the screen.
Yeah,
Just a link for everything. Flash
Sure.
on for like 1 second.
Nick gets a link to his Facebook. Daidomachi gets a link to his soul.
I know I'm strange just looking at my Facebook.
And then Nigel's. No, I'm not gonna say that.
You have to be a good friend to see this beautiful beard.
Yes. Anyway, thank you everyone. This is always fun, and hopefully next time will be great too. Bye bye. Have a great day.
Goodbye.